what NSG does, so NSG is just the little term for network security group. So let me just search NSG, network security group. I want us to look at our time. So network security group, I want to just give you an overview of what the network security group does and how it is being used. So network security group, what network security group literally does is that it's the one in charge of setting control of inbound on outbound traffic, meaning that it's just like a gateman that determines, that has a checklist. It's a gateman that has a checklist of who goes in and who goes out. Please, do you understand? That's what NSG does. For instance, NSG can say, okay, in this particular scenario, it can say, okay, let me just show you a sample of an NSG and what it does. So just look at this is a sample of an NSG. You understand? Now, it has something called an inbound rule, which I explained before. It shows you who can come in and who can go out. What are the rules of people that can come in? What are the rules for people that can go out? I will now I will explain it using these details. I will explain about the priority. I will explain the name is generally name. I will explain ports. I can explain all these things. Let me just give you an overview. Let me give you an overview of how it works. Now, you have this particular NSG. Inbound means that things that can come in. You understand? It stands in the middle between Mr. A and Mr. B. You have an NSG. NSG says the NSG belongs to Mr. B. The NSG says that who can come in from Mr. A side to Mr. B side. And for the outbound, it says who can leave from Mr. B side and go to Mr. A side. That's what NSG does. It's just like a gate man that tells you who goes out and who comes in. Now, in the aspect of this, I explained RDP before. That's remote desktop for Windows Server. Now it's telling us that RDP is session with port 3389 from any source to any destination. Allow it. Do you get it? It means that from anybody that is coming into any destination in Mr. B and is coming with port 3389, allow them to go freely. Now, I want to now explain another one. It's any ports that don't belong to these parameters that is explaining to allow, it's not going to allow them, it's going to deny it. And you can explicitly say, okay, for instance, it's saying that deny all inbound ports, any, and just deny it. Literally means that if that port is not a recognized port or is not allowed to flow in, just deny this thing. So that's what it works for. For instance, I want to create one for you to see how it works. I know it can be boring, but I'm just going to use my time to explain it. Now, I want to create inbound. What can come into Mr. B? What can come into Mr. B? This is the inbound. Now, I want to create a sample of it. The source is telling me that if the source is an IP address or the source is any, or the source is my own IP address particularly, or the source is a service tag, or the source is an application security group. Now that's talking about source, where it is coming from. Where it is coming from, that is source. The next thing again, I can choose, let's choose any. The next thing is that the source port ranges. That means what is the port that that source is coming with? Is it something that I need to note down? Now, for instance, you can see these guys, you have port ranges here, they have 80 and 443. Now, in this place, if I use asterisk means all ports. Destination means that in Mr. B, what are you trying to achieve here? Are you coming to an IP address in Mr. B, or you are coming to a service tag in Mr. B, or you are coming to an application security group in Mr. B? That's what this destination literally means. I'll put it as any. The service, which kind of service it is? Is it HTTP? HTTP means for web services, or HTTPS, same thing as web services. You have SSH, RDP, SQL, and so on and so forth. They are different. All these services that it mentions have their own ports. For instance, if I choose HTTP, it's going to give me a port. The port for HTTP is port 80. If I choose HTTPS, it will give me 443. You can see the destination port is 443. When I chose HTTP, it gave me a destination port of 80. When I choose HTTPS, it gave me a destination port of 443. When I choose SSH, it will be 22. When I choose RDP, it will be 3389, and so on and so forth. That's how all the ports is. So based on the port you want to really achieve it with, you can say, okay, you choose this particular port explicitly stated. Now you can choose custom, means that if you don't have any port in mind, or you don't have any of those parameters in mind, you can just choose custom. Destination port, I can put asterisk, means that all ports. Okay. Asterisk means all ports. So protocol can be TCP, UDP, ICMP, based on the protocol you want to follow. That's dependent on the user. The next thing again is talking about the action. Should I allow it to come in or not? If I choose deny, means that if the source is any, and is any port, and destination is going to any destination, and it comes with any port, please deny it. You understand? That's what the inbound rule talks about. Now, I want to talk about, we already have this one set up. I want to talk about priority again. Priority talks about which list should I read first. NSG does this thing. You have something coming from A to B. NSG firstly looks at priority 300. You understand? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you look at the first priority, is this priority needed? If the answer is allow, it is going to let that thing to come in. Do you get it? If the priority of that your port, like now you are talking about ports, I want to give, okay, let me give this instance of port 80 and 443. You understand? Now you have 80 here, you have 443 here, and you have another inbound rule of 80 and 440. If I say, okay, in this one that's called 80, with this blah 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 blah, and I set the actions to be deny. Let me just give this one example. Let me set the action here to be deny. Let me now tell you how it works. If a request that is HTTP is coming to my virtual machine that is in B, when the request comes, if it comes with port 80, it is going to deny that request. Even though here it says that port 80 is allowed. Do you understand? Because of the priority here is 320, it's going to firstly work on this priority. So far, the first priority here is deny it. It is going to deny that request. If the priority, the first priority is allowed, and the second priority, yeah, let me now explain that second scenario. This one is allowed now. I now go and set this one. Okay, that one is updating. I now go to this place and set this one to deny. If a request is coming in with priority for port 80 and the priority here is 320, priority here is 350. When that request comes to the NSG is going to allow that request because of the first priority here says port 80 allow the request to come in, even though in priority 350 the request is set to what? To deny. So that is how priority works. It looks at the first in the list, responds to the first in the list before it even thinks of the other priority in the list. So that is how NSG works. Let me return this one back to where it is allowed. So this is for the outbound security rules. Now for the inbound security rules, now you have something called outbound security rules. They are also similar to what you have in your inbound security rules, meaning that what are the things that can live from B outside. You can set them the way you set for your inbound rules also. Also, now I want to talk about these two things. Where can my NSG be connected to? My NSG can be connected to network interfaces. Network interfaces are used by virtual machine, understand, and also kind of for I think private endpoint also. So you can use your network interfaces for them, and you can associate your NSG to network interfaces. Also, for subnets, also you can associate your NSG to a particular subnet. I think as if I showed you when I was we're creating a subnet, and I said that you can add your NSG to your subnet also. So that is a brief summary of what NSG does. It determines the rules, what comes in, what goes out, and determines what are the priorities in the rules that should be obeyed. So those are the major things about today. I've talked about virtual network. I have talked about subnets. I've talked about network security group, and next class we'll talk about the other aspects